In the year 2137, Earth was peaceful. People were busy with their lives, working, laughing, building, and dreaming. Space was no longer a mystery. Humans had colonies on the Moon and Mars. But deep in space, something had changed. A strange signal was found near Saturn. At first, scientists thought it was a glitch-just noise. But the signal repeated every 37 seconds. Then it changed. It sounded like a language the world watched in silence as the signal was decoded. One line appeared on every screen in the control room. "We see you, primitive ones." Everyone went quiet. The United Earth Council met in secret. They had always known something like this might happen. No one thought it would be so soon, or so bold. Earth sent a message back. "Who are you?" There was no answer. Instead, a few days later, something massive appeared in space, just above Saturn's rings. A dark, spiked ship, 5 times bigger than anything Earth had ever built. It didn't arrive by engine. It simply appeared as if it had always been there. Every telescope on Earth turned to it. Every satellite scanned it. But before any data could be collected, Earth's satellites started going dark, one by one. Shut down, fried, or simply erased. A voice came next, broadcasted across every frequency. "We are the Thought-provoking Dominion. We greet you, primitive species. Your technology is weak. Your defenses are nothing. Submit, and we will let you survive. Resist, and be erased." Panic spread across the world. TV stations stopped normal broadcasts. Emergency sirens rang in every major city. People looked to the skies. Some prayed. Others prepared for war. The Thought-provoking didn't wait. Within hours, their ship moved closer now, floating silently above Earth's orbit. It scanned cities, oceans, and military bases. But something strange happened. The Thought-provoking did not attack. Instead, he sent small drones down to capture human scientists, soldiers, even school children. They wanted to study what they called a low-level species. What they found confused them. Humans were not what they expected. The first alien scientists tried to read a human soldier's mind. But the man pushed back, his thoughts sharp, wild, dangerous. The aliens screamed and fell unconscious. The Thought-provoking were shocked. "These creatures," one alien said, "are not primitive. They are chaotic." Back on Earth, leaders were not sitting idle. They had been silent on purpose, not because they were scared, but because they were stalling. In a hidden base beneath Antarctica, a secret project came to life. Codename Project Titan. A man walked into a dimly lit command room. He wore a black uniform lined with silver, and his eyes were cold but focused. "Commander Reyes," the technician said. "The signal has been confirmed. The Thought-provoking are here." Reyes nodded. "Is the Havoc ready?" The technician hesitated. "All systems are green. Crew is standing by. Weapons charged. Cloak active." Reyes gave a thin smile. "Good. Then it's time." He turned to the screen. "Send the order. Deploy Titan-class warship Havoc. Let's show them what primitive really means." At that very moment, somewhere far beyond Mars, space began to bend. It shimmered like water, then twisted, bent, and finally tore open. Through the rift, something enormous emerged. The Havoc, shaped like a dagger and glowing with blue light, it was Earth's greatest secret. Over a kilometer long, armed with plasma cannons, dark matter torpedoes, the most advanced AI ever built. It had never been used until now. On the alien ship, the Thought-provoking High Commander looked up as alarmed, screamed. "What is that?" he growled. A smaller alien officer trembled. "Ship, sir. Human design." But unlike anything in their records, it just appeared. The commander narrowed his eyes. Impossible. They should not have this power. The Havoc broadcast a message. "This is Commander Reyes of the Titan-class warship Havoc. You called us primitive. That was your first mistake. You threatened Earth. That was your second. Leave now, or face extinction." Silence. Then the alien commander laughed. "Fire on that ship. Show them what real power looks like." The Tharkai ship launched a plasma bolt the size of a building. It flew toward the Havoc at light speed, but just before impact, the Havoc vanished, cloaked, invisible, undetectable, and from the shadows, it struck. A bright blue beam lanced out from nowhere, piercing the alien ship's engines. Explosions rocked space. The mighty Tharkai scout ship began to drift, powerless. Panic spread in the alien command room. They're attacking us. They should not be able to do this. Where did they go? But the humans were not gone. They were just getting started. The alien ship above Earth was burning. Smoke poured from its engines. Its lights flickered. Inside, Tharkai officers shouted in fear and confusion. Where did it come from? How did the humans build that? This should be impossible. Their computers showed nothing. No trace of the human ship. No energy trail. No signal. The Titan-class warship Havoc had vanished like a ghost. Far below. In a hidden bunker under Antarctica, Commander Reyes watched the alien chaos from a cold, steel room. They're scared, said his second-in-command, Lieutenant Mara Chen. They should be, Reyes replied. They thought we were animals with fire sticks. Let's teach them what humans really are. Meanwhile, the world was still afraid. People on Earth only knew a little. They had seen the alien ship. They had heard the strange warning. And now, it was quiet, too quiet. No news, no answers. Governments stayed silent. Internet access was limited. Satellites were down. Everyone waited. But the real war was happening far above them in orbit. And in the shadows, inside the Tharkai ship, two alien captains stood before their commander. The humans fight like nothing we've seen, said one. They strike from darkness. No signals, no warning. Are they using cloaking? The commander asked. Something better, said the second captain. They don't just hide, they vanish. The commander slammed his clawed hand on the table. And bring me one, alive. I want to see what these monkeys really are. Within hours, a new Tharkai drone ship entered Earth's atmosphere. It flew low, scanning for targets. Its mission: capture more humans, study their minds, learn their secrets. The drone hovered over a city in northern Canada. It released small hunter-probe silver spheres with red glowing eyes. They moved fast. They were silent and deadly. They picked up one target, a woman in military uniform walking alone in the snow. She didn't run. She stood still. Smiling, the probes closed in. Suddenly, they exploded one by one. The woman raised her arm. A small device on her wrist blinked blue. Then she whispered into her earpiece. Target trapped successful. Packages en route. A shadow fell across the snow. Above her, human dropship descended, hidden, silent, fast. The woman stepped inside and disappeared into the sky. Back on the Havoc, Reyes reviewed the footage. The aliens were hunting humans, but now humans were hunting back. Status of Operation Fog? Reyes asked. Lieutenant Chen smiled. Launched an hour ago. Cyber swarm is in their systems. We're reading alien ship layouts, crew movement, command orders. Reyes nodded. Good. Let's take their eyes. Moments later, deep inside the Tharkai scout ship, the screens began to flicker. Navigation failed. Life support readings dropped. False alarms flooded the bridge. Doors opened and closed by themselves. Even the ship's lights turned red and started flashing random Earth symbols. You are being watched. We see you run. The alien crew panicked. Some thought the ship was haunted. Others believed a virus had infected the system, but it wasn't a virus. It was Project Faga, human-built cyber attack AI. Then something even worse happened. One of the Tharkai science officers, Sursek, tried to probe a second human mind. A teenage boy they had taken from a mountain village. Turzek pressed his fingers to the boy's head.
Now the probe began.
Then something snapped. The boy's thoughts hit like a storm cloud, wild, full of anger and fire. Turzek screamed. Blood poured from his nose. His eyes turned black. He collapsed, shaking. The others pulled him back, terrified. One whispered, "These creatures, their minds are fire." They burn our thoughts. The commander looked at the boy. The human was smiling. They're not primitive, he muttered. There's something else. Back on the Havoc, Reyes got the news. The aliens are starting to break, said Chen. They don't understand us. Their tech can't handle our chaos. Good, Reyes said. Then it's time to move to Phase 3. He turned to the main screen and gave the order. Bring us in close. Let them see the devil in the dark. In space, the Havoc uncloaked just for a moment, long enough for the alien ship to see it. It floated above them, sharp and black, glowing with cold blue lines. Then it vanished again. In that moment, the Tharkai knew one thing. This was not a war they could win easily. Back on Earth, people looked to the sky, still unsure, still waiting. But hope was growing. Somewhere out there, someone was fighting for them. Someone was keeping Earth safe. And soon, the world would know the name Titan-class warship Havoc. Long before the alien ship arrived, long before the signal from Saturn was heard, ... Earth had already started preparing for war. It started in silence. No one in the public knew, not the media, not the politicians, not even most of the military. Only a small group of scientists, engineers, and top commanders were part of it. They called it Project Titan. The idea was simple. If aliens ever came to Earth, we should not be the ones running, so Earth's top minds were secretly brought together. They were hidden in underground labs and moon bases. They were told, build something that makes the galaxy afraid to invade. And they did it. Took over 30 years, hidden in the shadows, built in parts, some on the moon, some on Mars, and some even deep in space behind Neptune. The final product was terrifying. A chip with armor that could survive a star's heat. Weapons that could destroy a planet from orbit. Engines that bent space. And a brain and AI called Valkyrie, so advanced it could outthink alien supercomputers in milliseconds. They named the ship Havoc. It was Earth's first warship, and no one outside the project even knew it existed. Now, the Earth's darkest moment, the Havoc had returned. Inside the ship, Commander Reyes walked through a glowing corridor. Soldiers saluted as he passed. Technicians worked at glowing panels. The ship's lights were soft blue. The walls steel-gray. Everything looked calm, but the crew knew. They were about to face the greatest enemy mankind had ever seen. Reyes stepped into the command bridge. It was round, filled with screens and holograms. Valkyrie's avatar appeared a calm white figure, glowing faintly. Good evening, Commander, she said in a soft, human-like voice. Shall we begin the awakening? Reyes nodded. Start full Titan protocol. Wake up every system. How curious. Eyes flashed. All systems activating. Plasma core spinning up. Cloak cycle complete. Main cannon charged. Quantum shields at 94%. Lights across the ship turned red. Sirens blared. Crews strapped into battle chairs. Reyes looked at the main screen. The alien ship was still above Earth damaged, but alive. They still think we're weak, he said. Mara Chen stood beside him. They won't for long. In space, the Havoc moved like a shadow. It circled the Tharkai ship, scanning every inch. Inside Valkyrie's mind, she ran simulations thousands per second. Where would the alien ship fire? What was the weakest point? Where could she strike without killing innocent humans on board? She found the answer in 3.2 seconds. Target located, she said. Weak point. Starboard power conduit. Probability of full shutdown. 87%. Nice. Smiled, then hit it. One shot. From far away, a single beam of light shot out. No sound, no warning, just bright blue energy. It sliced through the alien ship's side. Lights on the enemy ship. Died instantly. Engines stopped. Weapon systems. Failed. Inside the alien ship. Officers screamed in fear. We're blind. Life support failing. Unknown energy source or hull is melting. The Tharkai commander looked at the chaos and realized something terrifying. Humans were not just defending. They were Hunting, back on Earth, in secret command centers around the world, leaders finally spoke on private, secure lines. "Is this real?" asked the African Union general. "Are we actually winning?" said the president of New Europe. Reyes appeared on their screen. "This is Commander Reyes of the Titan class. Warship Havoc. We've disabled the alien scout. I suggest the world prepare for what comes next," which is what? The voice asked. Reyes stared at the screen. "They will send more." Meanwhile, news of the Havoc began to spread. Some hackers caught images from deep space telescopes. A few civilians even saw the Havoc. Do cloak for a second before it vanished again. The internet exploded. People asked, "Is that ours? Do we have alien tech? Is Earth hiding a space fleet?" Governments stayed silent, but the people began to hope. Maybe Earth wasn't helpless after all. Maybe someone was fighting back inside the alien ship. The Tharkai officers tried to send a warning to their empire. "Humans have warships." The message read, "They are dangerous, not primitive. They must be watched." But Valkyrie had already jammed their signals. No warning would escape. Reyes had a plan. "We'll let them go," he said. "We damaged them just enough. Let them crawl home." Mara raised an eyebrow. "Why?" Reyes smiled coldly. "So they tell their empire what Earth really is. A trap, a grave, and a warning." As the Havoc drifted silently in orbit, its shadow passed over the broken alien ship, and for the first time in the galaxy, humans became a threat. The alien scout ship was broken. Its hull was cracked. Power systems were failing. Its crew was scared. They had come to Earth expecting an easy victory. They thought they would conquer a primitive world. Instead, they met Titan-class warship Havoc. Now, they were trying to escape, but Commander Reyes wasn't done. On the Havoc's command bridge, Reyes stood with his arms crossed, watching the enemy ship spin helplessly in orbit. Lieutenant Chen said, "They're trying to jump to hyperspace, but their drive is unstable. Should we finish them off?" Reyes paused for a moment. "No," he said calmly. "Let them crawl home. Let them carry the fear with them." He turned to Valkyrie, the AI. "Any chance they can send a signal to their empire?" Valkyrie replied, "Not while I control their network. Their communications are blocked. But if they leave our jamming range, they will warn others." Reyes nodded. "Then it's time to act first." Far away, beyond Jupiter, another ship was waking up. It was Tar, Kite bigger. Faster, armed. A scout killer, sent to retrieve or destroy any missing scout ships it had already. Received a weak emergency ping. And it was coming fast. Back on Earth, global satellites were partially restored. Some news leaked. People across the planet began seeing blurry images of a dark, dagger-shaped ship floating in space. Some said it was alien. Others whispered it was human. A few believed it was fake. But those who saw the footage of the alien ship burning, they knew the truth. Earth had just fought back in a secret lunar command base. General Amani of the United Earth Defense Council gave the order. "Commander Reyes," she said through a secure line, "you are authorized to strike first. If the enemy is bringing a fleet, we take the fight to them." Reyes didn't blink. Understood. No. The Havoc turned silently in space, aiming its bow toward the far edge of the solar system. "Valkyrie," Reyes said, "plot a stealth course toward incoming targets." "Course locked," Valkyrie responded. Cloak engaged, plasma core holding at 93%. Weapons standing by. Reyes looked out into the stars. "Let's hit them before they even know we're there." 4 days later, at the edge of the solar system, near the orbit of Pluto, the Tharkai, Hunter's ship arrived. It was 3 times larger than the scout ship, covered in bone white. Armor, its weapons glowed red. Inside, the alien commander barked orders. "Scan the planet system. Find the source of the attack." An officer spoke. The scout ship was not destroyed but disabled. Something hit it hard. "No signs of alien ships on sensors," the commander hissed. Primitive worlds do not have cloaking. We are not being hunted. He was wrong. From the darkness behind Pluto, something moved. Something invisible, something angry. The Havoc was in position. It floated silently just above the dwarf planet. Fully cloaked inside, the crew sat ready. The screen was green. Every weapon loaded. Reyes gave the order. Fire. Without sound, without warning. 3 dark matter torpedoes shot through space. The alien ship didn't see them coming. 2 struck the engines. 1 pierced the lower. Massive. Explosions lit up space. The white armor cracked. The Tharkai ship lost power. Its lights went dark. For a full 10 seconds, drifted in space like a dead whale. Then its backup systems kicked in and it began to fire wildly into the darkness. But the Havoc was gone. Again, cloaked, watching hunting. Inside the alien ship, chaos spread. Where are they? We can't see them. Our weapons are hitting nothing. The commander roared, "They are ghosts." One officer screamed, "They are death." Back on the Havoc, Lieutenant Chen grinned. "They're firing blind." Reyes said nothing. He walked to the center of the bridge. "Let's end this." He raised his hand. "Main cannon, target bridge section. Fire at will." A massive pulse charged in the Havoc's spine. Then dash boom. A glowing beam of white-blue energy slammed into the Tharkai ship's center. The alien bridge exploded. No survivors, silence. Only floating debris. The second Tharkai ship was gone. Reyes turned to Valkyrie. "Any signs of a fleet following them?" She answered, "Nothing yet. But this was only a scout hunter. The main invasion will come soon. I estimate we have 10 days at most." Reyes nodded. "Then we need to prepare Earth." He pressed a button and opened a secure line to Earth's leaders. "This is Commander Reyes. The second alien ship has been destroyed. But we are not safe. The real war is coming. We must activate full planetary defense." He paused, "And the world must know. Tell them everything, no more secrets." Hours later, Earth saw its first official message from the United Earth Defense Council. A woman appeared on every screen. "This is General Amani. We are no longer alone in the universe. We have been attacked, but we are not weak. Ship called the Havoc has fought back. And one, but more are coming. We must unite. And we must be ready." Round the world, people stood still. They watched. And for the first time, they believed. 10 days passed. Earth had changed. The truth was out. People now knew about the alien attack. And about the warship that fought back, Titan-class warship Havoc. Some were afraid. Some were angry. But most were ready. For the first time in history, Earth united. Nations opened their secret bases. Old enemies shared intel. Satellites were repaired. Orbital cannons were powered on. Moon bases went dark, silent, and armed. The planet was preparing for war. But no one knew how big the next threat would be. In deep space, past the edge of the solar system, a hole opened, then another, and another. Space rippled like water as the Tharkai fleet arrived. Dozens of ships, scouts, destroyers, carriers, dreadnoughts. One of them, flagship of the Tharkai fleet, was bigger than any Earth city. Inside, the High Warlord of the Tharkai Empire stared at a hologram of Earth. "Burn that planet," he growled. "Wipe it clean." On the Havoc, Commander Reyes stood on the bridge, calm as ever. "Valkyrie," he said, "report." The AI appeared beside him. "We have 41 alien ships entering the system. 12 of them are war class. 4 are unknown. Size. Estimated arrival in Earth orbit, 36 hours. Reyes narrowed his eyes. "So, they're coming." Lieutenant Chen stepped forward. "We're outnumbered, Commander. 20 to 1. Reyes smirked. "Good, that means they'll be easier to hit." All across the solar system, Earth's hidden weapons came online. Orbital railguns pointed. At deep space, stealth drones deployed from the dark side of the moon. EMP mines floated silently near Mars. Defense satellites blinked back to life. Now, armed with lasers and anti-ship missiles, Earth had been hiding for too long now. it would fight back on the alien flagship. The Tharkai fleet master watched their scans. Still no sign of large enemy forces, he said. The warlord laughed. Of course not. This species is weak. Their strongest ship already ran. But one alien, an older strategist, looked nervous. Sir, I reviewed the scout report. That human ship Havok destroyed a vessel 3 times its size in 1 minute. The warlord dismissed him. One ship means nothing. 36 hours later, the Tharkai fleet reached Earth orbit. They spread across the skies like a storm. Massive black ships hovered over the planet, blocking the sun in some areas. People on the ground looked up. Some cried, some prayed, some clenched their fists. Then the war began. The alien ships fired first. Massive plasma blasts hit Earth's upper atmosphere. Cities shook. MP pulses fried electronics. Satellites exploded. But then Earth fired back. From orbit, railguns on the moon launched. Metal slugs the size of cars. They tore through alien armor. Kinetic missiles from Antarctica slammed into one of the Tharkai carriers, ripping it in half. Orbital drones fired lasers, cutting enemy ships like blades. And then the Havok decloaked. It appeared just above Earth's equator, glowing with blue fire, its weapons hot and humming. Commander Reyes stood on the bridge. Target the nearest dreadnought, he said. Let's make an example, Valkyrie replied, locking now. The Havok's main cannon charged its energy. It's brighter than the sun, and then it fired. The alien dreadnought exploded in a flash of white light. The soundless shockwaves spread across space. 2 other enemy ships were thrown off course. The Tharkai fleet paused. They had not expected resistance like this. They thought Earth would beg for mercy. Instead, Earth fought like a beast. Back on the alien flagship, panic spread. 3. Ships down. We're under attack from every angle. They have weapons hidden on the moon. The High Warlord stood, roaring, "Kill the Havok. Bring me that ship." All remaining alien warships locked onto the Havok. Over 20 ships turned toward it. On the Havok, Reyes watched them come. Lieutenant Chen looked worried. They're all aiming at us. Reyes smiled. Good, that means they're not aiming at Earth. He tapped his cum. This is Commander Reyes to all Earth defense units. Execute Operation Obsidian Shield. All at once. Earth's orbital. Mines activated. Hidden near Mars and behind the moon, they floated into formation. Then it exploded. Not toward the aliens, but toward space itself. The explosions released clouds of metal shards, electromagnetic pulses, and sensors shramped. The Tharkai fleet's radar went blind. Their targeting systems lit. Their ships turned in confusion, and that's when the Havok attacked again. One by one, alien ships began falling. A carrier drifted into Earth's gravity and burned up. A scout ship was cut in half by drone lasers. A destroyer spun out of control and slammed into the moon's surface. The humans weren't just fighting, they were winning inside the alien flagship. The High Warlord roared, "This cannot be. They are insects. They are nothing." But one officer whispered back, "They were nothing. Not anymore." On Earth, people cheered as news spread. The world watched in awe as alien ships fell from the sky, and high above them, the Havok glowed. With power unstoppable, unseen, unmatched, space above Earth was chaos. Asterisk, asterisk, alien ships burned. Human defenses fired from all directions. And right in the middle of it, the Titan-class warship Havok floated like a ghost striking hard, then vanishing. But Commander Reyes knew this wasn't over. The Tharkai still had their flagship, still had numbers, still had fury. If Earth wanted to win, they had to go deeper. They had to hit the enemy where it hurt the most from the inside. It was time for Operation Blindfold. Inside the Havok's command center, Reyes stood before his top officers, a hologram of the Tharkai. Fleet spun in the air. "We've taken down nearly half of their ships," Reyes said, "but their command structure is intact. The flagship is still coordinating the rest." Lieutenant Chen nodded. "If we blind them, the rest will fall apart." Reyes pointed to the enemy flagship. This is the brain. We kill the brain, we kill the body. Valkyrie, the ship's AI, appeared beside them. I've already begun infiltration. My cyberclones are inside their data core. They don't know it yet. Reyes gave a sharp nod. Begin, full cyber-attic. Blind them. Far across the battlefield, the Tharkai flagship was a floating beast. Its size was beyond massive, almost a small city. Inside, hundreds of alien officers worked at flashing consoles. Orders flowed through the fleet from this ship, but then, things started to break first. A map screen blinked out, then communications between two destroyers failed. Weapon controls shut down for 0.7 seconds. One officer looked confused. "Sir, systems are glitching," the High Warlord growled. "Fix it." Another screen blinked again, then another. Then half the bridge went black suddenly. Every screen lit up at once. Words appeared, but they weren't Thurkai words. They were human. You should. "We are inside your mind. Run." Panic spread. "This is a virus," an alien shouted. "They've infected the flagship." But it wasn't just a virus. It was Valkyrie. Her digital mind had split into hundreds of clones. Each one infiltrated a different part of the Tharkai network: firewalls, systems, weapons, cameras, even life support. And now she controlled everything. On the Havoc, Valkyrie smiled. "They're blind," she said. "They can't aim. They can't see. Some ships are now targeting each other by mistake." Reyes stepped forward. "Then let's help them destroy themselves." Human ships pushed forward. From the moon came fast, attack drones like swarms of metal hornets. From Earth's orbit came long-range missiles. From Mars came a stealth cruiser that had never been seen before, Calcine Ghostwalker. All of them had one goal: use the chaos to strike the core. Back on the alien flagship, it got worse. The gravity system went haywire. Hallways spun, doors locked, crews inside. Fighters launched and then crashed inside the bay. The warlord screamed in rage, "Find their virus, destroy it." But Valkyrie had hidden herself inside their navigation system, disguised as one of their own protocols. No one could find her. She watched. She listened. She smiled. Meanwhile, Reyes sent in a final blow. He launched a deep-dive missile, a special weapon. Made just for this mission. It didn't explode on contact. It hacked. The missile latched onto the flagship's outer shell. Then, it drilled in, released nanobots, started rewriting the ship's command systems. The alien flagship began turning on its own fleet. One by one, Tharkai ships received false orders. Fire at nearest ally. Retreat to escape point. Destroy target marked traitor. Confusion exploded. A destroyer fired on a cruiser. Scout ship crashed into a carrier. A dreadnought tried to warp out and tore itself in half. The Tharkai fleet was eating itself alive. On the bridge of the Havoc, the crew watched in shock. "They're doing our job for us," Lieutenant Chen said. Reyes kept his eyes cold. "Fear makes them weak. Confusion kills faster than weapons." He turned to Valkyrie. "Is the flagship still alive?" "Barely," she replied. "Their power core is overheating." "I suggest we finish it now." Reyes nodded. The Havoc moved forward slow, silent. Deadly, it charged its main cannon one last time, then fired. The beam cut through space like a blade. It slammed into the enemy flagship's center. The ship cracked, glowed, and then exploded in a giant wave of light. Pieces of it fell toward. Earth like black rain, the Tharkai fleet had no leader, no orders, no control. The few ships that were still working ran. They jumped into hyperspace. They left their dead behind. And Earth had won. For now, Reyes stood on the bridge. Breathing slowly. "The battle's over," Chen whispered. Reyes shook his head. "No, the battle is over. The war is just beginning." He turned to the crew. "Now they know what we are. They'll send more, bigger, stronger." But his voice grew harder. "So we prepare. We build more Titans. We fight smarter. If they come again," he looked into space, "we finish what they started." The battlefield was quiet now. Alien ships, burning, broken, retreating, floated across Earth's orbit. The Havoc hovered calmly among the wreckage, cloaked again, invisible to all sensors. But Commander Reyes knew this wasn't victory. Not yet. The Tharkai flagship was destroyed. But a distress signal had escaped just before Valkyrie shut it down. The message had one line: "They are not primitive. They are a threat." Now, the real war was coming, and Earth had one chance to stop it before it began. A bold plan, a silent attack, a final message: the Ghost Strike. Inside the Havoc's command room, Reyes stood before his team. A 3D map showed a Tharkai command station floating in deep space on the edge of a wormhole network. It was far beyond the solar system. It's a major relay point. From this station, the Tharkai could send a fleet to Earth in hours. Reyes pointed at the glowing red structure. "This is their throat. We crush it, they choke." Lieutenant Chen raised her eyebrows. "That's deep in enemy territory. No backup. No friendly comes." Reyes nodded. "That's why they'll never see it coming." The Havoc prepared for the longest jump it had ever attempted. Valkyrie adjusted the warp engines using stolen alien data. Stealth systems were upgraded. Energy cores were cooled to avoid detection. No one on Earth was told, only Reyes. His crew and a handful of top generals knew. This mission didn't exist. At 3:17 Earth time, the Havoc vanished. It jumped across space through uncharted wormholes and black gravity wells. No trails. No signals. No sound. 3 days later, the Havoc reappeared just outside the target zone. The Tharkai relay station floated like a fortress, surrounded by 6 defense towers and 2 battleships. But they weren't alert. They didn't know the humans had already arrived. Inside the station, the Tharkai commander sat in a control room. Studying the latest reports, he had read the message from Earth. He believed it. But others didn't. "They're savages," another officer had said. "Lucky savages." Commander disagreed. He had seen the wreckage, the loss, the fear in retreating crews. He knew Earth had built something powerful. Still, he never expected a ghost to come knocking at that moment. Valkyrie sent a silent pulse through the enemy's comnet. It was tiny, undetectable, but it opened a door. Inside the station, lights flickered for 1 second. Security cams froze. Motion, sensors reset. That was enough. The Havoc moved, cloaked, silent, cold. It flew under the station's sensors and locked onto the closest tower. "Fire, dark matter torpedoes," Reyes said. The order was soft but final. 3 torpedoes flew silently into space. The first tower exploded, then the second, then the third. The station finally noticed. Alarms screamed. Turrets spun wildly. Searching for an enemy they couldn't see, the 2 nearby battleships turned. But they had no targets. The Havoc had already moved its position, which changed every 15 seconds. Like a ghost, inside the station, panic spread. "We are under attack." "Where is it?" "We don't see anything." One officer pointed at a screen showing replayed footage. He whispered, terrified, "It's the Havoc." Meanwhile, Reyes launched the second phase. A stealth shuttle detached from the Havoc, carrying 10 elite human operatives trained for zero-gravity infiltration. Their mission: insert a data virus directly into the Tharkai command core. If successful, the virus would destroy the station's navigation grid and corrupt their wormhole, data delaying any future invasion by months. The team moved through space like shadows. No comms. No lights. They attached to the outer wall using magnetic boots and cut a small hole. Then they slipped inside the Tharkai station. Corridors were chaotic. Security bots scrambled in wrong directions. Power flickered. Systems rebooted again. And again, the operatives reached the main server room. Time: 2:41 local station. Cycle: they plugged in the virus and uploaded it in under 90 seconds. Then, the alarms changed tone. The Tharkai had found them. Gunfire echoed through the halls. The operatives fought back silently. Skillfully, 3 didn't make it out, but the rest returned to the shuttle. The virus was already spreading. Lights shut. Down. Engines failed. Turrets stopped working. Then havoc. Decloaked one final time, Reyes gave the order. All weapons. Fire at will. Lasers, torpedoes, cannons, all aimed at the station's power core. The entire structure lit up in blue light, and then collapsed. The explosion was massive, visible across the system. The wormhole, destabilized. Any ships waiting on the other side were lost forever. The ghost strike was complete. No survivors, no witnesses, only a message. Left behind by Valkyrie, if you come for Earth again, you won't see us. But we'll be there. The havoc disappeared once more, back into the shadows of space. Earth wouldn't hear from them for another 2 weeks, but when they did, they received only one message from Commander Reyes. The gate is closed. For now. The galaxy was quiet. But only for a moment. After the destruction of the Tharkai relay station, Earth gained precious time, weeks, maybe months. But everyone on the Havoc knew this silence wasn't peace. It was the silence before a storm. Commander Reyes stood on the bridge, eyes locked on a hologram showing Earth's defenses. We hurt them, he said. Now we hit back hard, before they recover. This time, Earth would not wait for the enemy. This time, humanity would strike first. On Earth, preparations began. The United Nations approved full deployment of orbital weapons. The moon base, codename Aegis, launched hundreds of drone fighters into space. Mars activated Stealth Cruiser Command. Hidden beneath its red sand, from deep ocean trenches, old war satellites rose again, and far out on Saturn's icy moon Titan. A second Titan-class warship completed construction, its name, Vindicator. Back on the Havoc, Valkyrie presented the latest intelligence. A new Tharkai war fleet was forming 30 ships, gathering at a hidden base in the Tsar Nebula. It was a staging area. In 1 week, they would head toward Earth. Reyes slammed his fist into his palm. We won't wait for them to reach us. He turned to his officers, set course for the Tsar Nebula. We're taking the fight to them. The journey wasn't easy. The Tsar Nebula was a dangerous place, filled with ion storms, black holes, and shifting space fields. Even alien ships struggled to fly through it. But humans had something better: stubbornness. And Valkyrie, her AI systems, used micro-jumps and gravitational warps to navigate through the storm. After 36 hours of silent travel, Havoc arrived, hidden behind a dark moon. There they saw it. The Tharkai fleet, row after row of warships. Supply stations. Cargo drones. Fuel ships. All preparing for war. Inside the Havoc, a hush fell over the crew. It was the biggest enemy fleet they had ever seen. Even Reyes was quiet for a moment, but then Hugh spoke. Let's break their teeth before they bite. The attack plan was risky. They would use hit-and-run tactics, confuse the fleet, and cripple their command core. Step 1. Disable enemy radar using EMP drones. Step 2. Destroy fuel depots, cut off movement. Step 3. Overload their communications. Step 4. Fire a grav bomb to rip the fleet apart. All within 20 minutes. Fast, sharp, deadly, at 0400 hours. The Havoc made its move. EMP drones launched first. They zipped across space, silent and dark. When they hit, alien radars shorted out. Ships began shouting in panic. Lights flickered. Targets vanished. Then, the Havoc decloaked right in the middle of the fleet. It fired in every direction. One shot, an alien carrier exploded. 2 more fuel depots went up in flames. Plasma shot across space. Chaos followed. Alien ships returned. Fire, but couldn't track the Havoc's shifting position. Meanwhile, Valkyrie hacked their comms. She replayed old signals, looped commands, and sent fake orders. The enemy's fleet went into total confusion. Some ships turned around. Others fired at each other. One cruiser even crashed into its own station. Then came the Rav-bomb. The Havoc launched it toward the center of the fleet. This wasn't a normal weapon. It created a sudden, tiny black hole just for a second. Ships nearby were crushed, twisted, or pulled out of orbit. The Tharkai fleet broke apart like glass, inside the command ship of the aliens. Panic was everywhere. The commander screamed, "Find the human ship. Kill it now." But it was already too late. The Havoc had already cloaked again and vanished. Back on Earth, satellite network picked up a signal. A single message from Reyes. Zarn Nebula cleared. Enemy crippled. No losses. Earth secure. For now. The galaxy had changed. Humans were no longer seen as prey. They were now something else. Predators. Other alien races began watching closely. Some feared, some respected, some even wanted to ally. 4. The first time, humans received a message, not a warning, not a threat, but a proposal. "The Council of Nine wishes to speak with your leaders," Earth responded with one sentence. "We speak from strength, not fear." Meanwhile, deep in space, Reyes stood alone in his quarters. He looked at the stars through the window. "They thought we were primitive," he whispered. "Now they see the truth." He turned toward a hidden screen showing Earth's shipyard. 3. More Titan-class warships were under construction. The message was clear. Humanity wasn't backing down. They were just getting started. The war zone was quiet now. Alien wreckage drifted in space, burning. Broken, lifeless, the Havoc hovered calmly among the stars. Watching the last flames die out, Commander Reyes stood on the bridge, looking at the map of what used to be a powerful Tharkai fleet. He didn't smile. He didn't celebrate. He just gave one command: send the message. The entire galaxy was listening. Dozens of alien species had watched the war from afar. They believed Earth would fall quickly. They believed humans were weak, soft, primitive. Now everything had changed. The Tharkai, one of the most feared empires, had suffered 3 humiliating defeats. A single Earth ship Havoc. The first Titan-class warship had destroyed fleets, stations, and supply lines no one understood how, but they were all afraid of what would come next. Then the message arrived, broadcast across 7 alien communication networks in over 300 languages. It began with silence, then a slow heartbeat sound, then Commander Reyes' voice. "This is Commander Reyes of Earth's Titan Command. You thought we were primitive? You thought we were alone? You were wrong." The message showed footage real combat scenes from the Havoc, alien cruisers exploding, drones slicing through fleets, the dark matter torpedo collapsing a Tharkai flagship, the ghost strike on the wormhole gate. Each clip was short, sharp, brutal. Then came Reyes' words again. "We ask for peace. You answered with threats. You tried to conquer us. You failed." Across the galaxy, leaders and soldiers watched the broadcast in silence. Some were shocked, some were angry, many were afraid. The final line of the message echoed louder than any weapon: "We will not kneel. We will not run. From now on, we stand. This is your only warning." In the Tharkai High Council chambers, the elders watched the message without blinking. One of them whispered, "How did this species rise so fast?" Another replied, "They didn't rise. We just failed to see them." The Tharkai Empire had suffered deep wounds. Their fleets were scattered. Supply chains broken. They needed time to recover. But time was something. Earth was no longer giving. Earth responded fast. The message had a second purpose. It wasn't just for fear. It was also a signal. Hidden in the broadcast was a special code. 1. That Earth's secret allies would recognize. Because while the galaxy saw humans as newcomers, some species already knew the truth. Long ago, humans had made secret contact with exiled alien scientists. Rebel pilots and banned AI systems now. They were calling them back. On the edge of the Andromeda Void, a fleet of rogue traders received the code. They smiled. One of them, a green-skinned pilot, whispered, "The apes are ready. Let's go meet them." Across different sectors, outlaws, lost colonies, and hidden civilizations turned their eyes to Earth. Some wanted trade, some wanted protection, some wanted revenge against their old enemies. Rhea's message had started something far bigger than a war. It had started a movement inside the Havoc. Valkyrie analyzed the galactic response. 57 systems have received the message, she reported. 32 species show increased interest in Earth. 12 have declared us hostile. 2 have offered diplomatic channels. Rhea's raised an eyebrow. Diplomacy already? Valkyrie nodded. One race calls itself the Galari. They were once Thart-H slaves. They want help. Reyes gave a small nod. Tell them we listen, but we don't kneel. On Earth, people celebrated. For the first time in history, humans felt united. No more fighting over borders or flags now. Earth had one identity, Terran, and they were proud. Construction on Titan class. Warships increased. 3 more ships were half finished. Vindicator Eclipse Hammer Phallic won faster, stronger and smarter than the last. Moon bases expanded. Mars began building a military city underground. Venus sent drones into the sun to harvest rare energy. The human war machine had awakened, but not everyone was happy. Inside the Earth government, some feared Reyes was going too far, too aggressive, too bold. One ambassador said, "We don't want to start a galactic war?" But Reyes had already answered that question in his message. The war started the day they called us animals. Now they'll see what beasts can do. Far away in a hidden alien system, the Tharkai survivors gathered. They had one goal left. Revenge. Plans were made. Weapons prepared. Alliances considered. A second war was coming, and it would be bigger, deadlier. But this time, Earth would not fight alone, because the galaxy had now heard the message, and the name human was no longer unknown. It was a warning. It was a threat. It was a promise. The message from Commander. Reyes echoed across the stars, worlds far beyond. Human space had seen it. Some watched with fear, some with respect, but others watched with rage in the Tharkai homeworld. The reaction was violent. The ruling council had been humiliated twice, their fleets destroyed, their supply lines broken, their honor shattered by what they still called a dirt world species. Now, in the dark chambers of the High Council, the elders met in silence until one finally spoke. This cannot go unanswered. A new plan was made, not for invasion, not for diplomacy, but for total destruction. The Tar. Kai would build a superweapon, a black hole generator that could erase an entire solar system. One elder whispered, "Let Earth become a memory." But Earth had changed too. Back home, leaders of the Terran Defense Pact were debating their next move. Some wanted to slow down, build alliances, open talks. Others, especially military leaders, wanted to strike deeper into Alien Space Commander. Reyes was in the middle. He listened. He waited. Then he stood and said, "They won't stop. They'll come back stronger. We must be faster." His words were clear. Earth could not relax because the enemy was rebuilding. Then the attack. It came not with ships, not with weapons, but with information. Alien spies had slipped into Earth's outer colonies in Mars. Luna and Europa. They weren't there to fight. They were there to spread lies. Disinformation, fake videos, false broadcasts, trying to turn humans against each other. They said Reyes was hiding a dark plan. They said Earth had attacked first. They said Titan Command wanted to conquer the galaxy. It almost worked. On Mars, protests broke out. On Earth, a few leaders demanded Reyes step down. On Luna, weapons shipments were delayed. The enemy had found a new weapon, division. But they had forgotten one thing. Humanity had learned from history. And this time, they were ready. Interghost Protocol. It was a defense system hidden deep in Earth's AI network created by Valkyrie and a team of off-world thinkers. Ghost Protocol tracked all fake transmissions. It located the source, and it counterattacked fast. In just 72 hours, the alien disinformation network was exposed and destroyed. The spies were captured. One of them confessed. We were sent to break your spirit, not your walls, Reyes replied coldly. You failed both. But the backlash wasn't over. The Council of Nine Alliance of Neutral. Alien civilizations had heard Earth's message. Now they sent a reply. Not a threat, but not a friendship. Either just a warning, do not bring your war to our sectors. It will not take sides. Reyes read the message. He nodded once, understood. Then he sent a reply. We don't want war, but if it comes, don't stand in our way. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, alien worlds were reacting to Earth's rise. On one planet, a merchant leader said, humans grow too fast. We must stop trade with them. On another, a scientist whispered, if humans already have Titan-class ships, what will they build next? Fear spread, but so did curiosity. Some species started sending quiet messages to Earth, asking about alliances. Technology, even protection Earth was becoming more than a world. It was becoming a power inside Titan Command. Reyes met with his senior team. They received fresh intelligence from Valkyrie. She spoke clearly. The Tharkai are building something massive. Power signatures match a black hole core. Purpose unknown. Reyes frowned. What's the location? A map lit up. A system at the edge of known space. The Karan expanse, no colonies, no trade. Just dark energy and silence. He stared at it. That's their revenge. Preparations began. Earth's second Titan-class warship Vindicator was now fully operational too. More Eclipse and Hammerfall were almost ready. Titan Command formed a task force. They called it Black Lance. Their mission, find out what the Tharkai were building in the Karan expanse, and destroy it before it could be used. As the ships fueled and crews trained, Reyes recorded a private message to be stored in the Havoc system. It said, if you're hearing this, I may be gone. But know this, humanity does not fear darkness. We come from it, and now we command it. Backlash had come, but Earth did not bend. Earth did not break. They adapted, and they prepared for the next. Storm, because the next battle might decide the fate of more than just Earth. It could decide who rules the stars. The Karan expanse was dead space. No stars, no planets. It's just darkness and cold. But something powerful was hiding inside Titan. Command had confirmed it. The Tharkai were building a super weapon inside the expanse, and worse. They were using a massive wormhole gate to bring in warships and materials from distant sectors. If Earth didn't stop them now, it'd be too late. Commander Reyes stood on the Havoc's bridge. He looked at the massive fleet gathered before him. 3 Titan-class warships now stood ready. Havoc Vindicator Eclipse behind them were dozens of support ships, drone carriers, medical cruisers, orbital drop platforms, stealth fighters, Mars-built mech units. This was Earth's strongest fleet ever assembled. Their mission, take the gate, stop the super weapon, and shut the Tharkai down for good. Operation Gatefall had begun. The fleet jumped through subspace channels and entered the expanse. Sensors went blind almost. Instantly, space here was twisted and strange. Black clouds floated like ghosts. The stars vanished. Visuals only. No SOM. No radar. Only eyes. They moved in silence. Suddenly, contact. An alien patrol spotted them. Too late, the Havoc opened. Fire dark matter cannons smashed the Tharkai. Scouts? But now the whole sector knew. The gate appeared, floating in the darkness. The wormhole structure was the size of a moon. It glowed faint blue and pulsed with energy. At least 12 enemy warships stood guard, and beneath the gate, out in the shadow of an asteroid belt, was the super weapon, a strange device with a black hole core, finished but dangerous. Target confirmed, Valkyrie said calmly. We only get one shot. The battle began. Earth's fleet hit first. Drones surged forward in perfect formations. Kai ships answered with plasma blasts and EMP webs. The sky lit up with fire and wreckage. Havoc and Vindicator pushed forward. Drawing fire, Eclipse cloaked and vanished, heading for the wormhole's control station. The goal, the gate down and trapped the enemy fleet inside. Reyes led from the front. Titan lance attack pattern. Omega. Focus fire on their heavy cruiser. The Tharkai responded with fury. They launched boarding pods, trying to take over Havoc from inside. Mech units inside the ship activated fighting. Close-range battles in the halls. Explosions rocked the ship, but Havoc held strong. Meanwhile, inside the Eclipse, Captain Mirakon and her stealth team landed silently on the gate control platform. They moved fast, cutting through guards. Set charges, Mira ordered, as they planted explosives. Valkyrie's voice came through Havoc's comms, warning, enemy reinforcements entering through the gate. More Tharkai warships appeared, 10, 20. They were outnumbered now, but Reyes didn't flinch. He looked at Vindicators. Captain said, "It's now or never. Break the line." Vindicator charged forward. Shields flickered whole tore, but its cannons burned like suns. It smashed into the heart of the enemy formation. It's taking down 2 capital ships before exploding. In fire, the sacrifice gave Havoc an opening. Reyes took it. Target the super weapon. Full power. Havoc's main cannon charged glowing white. The dark matter beam fired. The asteroid field shattered. The black hole weapon was hit directly and collapsed in on itself. A shockwave raced through space. The Tharkai ships began to panic there. Great weapon was gone. Their gate was exposed. Inside the control platform, Mirakon gave the order. Detonate. Explosions tore through the gate's spine. Energy surged wildly. The wormhole twisted and collapsed in on itself. The enemy reinforcements were cut off. The battle turned. With the gate gone and the super weapon destroyed, the remaining Tharkai ships tried to retreat. Havoc and the rest of the fleet chased them down. No mercy, no surrender. When it was over, only silence remained. Wreckage drifted. 1 Titan-class ship had fallen. Thousands of human lives were lost. But the mission had succeeded. The galaxy's biggest threat had been shattered. Earth now controlled the battlefield. A message was sent to the stars. The Karan expanse is under Terran control. All unauthorized entry will be considered hostile. On Earth, news of the battle spread fast. Billions watched the footage of the Havoc pushing through fire, of the gate exploding, of Reyes standing tall on the bridge. Humanity had not just survived the war, they had won a galactic victory. But Reyes did not celebrate. He looked at the stars beyond the expanse. He knew this wasn't the end, because now the galaxy had seen what Earth could do, and many would want to test them again. The battle of the gate was over. The Karan expanse was quiet now. Only wreckage remained, floating metal, broken ships, shattered pride. And in the center of it all stood the Titan-class warship Havoc, silent, alive, victorious, back on Earth. Everything changed. A global broadcast went live. It showed Reyes standing on the bridge of the Havoc. Battle-scarred but strong. He spoke calmly, with no anger, only truth. We were called primitive, weak, wild, not ready. But we are still here. Now we stand as equals. Billions of humans cheered. Across the stars, aliens watched in silence at Titan command. A decision was made. Humanity would no longer hide. They would no longer wait for threats. They would lead the Terran. The Defense Pact officially became the Terran. Apex Alliance, a new force for order and protection in the galaxy. 12. Titan-class ships were now under construction. Names like Hammerfall, Nightstar, Judgment, Phoenix, each one more advanced than the last, some designed for war, some for defense, some for exploration, because Earth's goal was not just power, it was purpose. The galaxy reacted. Many alien empires feared Earth's rise. Some closed their borders, some increased weapons production, but others reached out with messages of alliance. One species, the Solari, said, "Your courage woke us up." Another, the Rulon Collective, asked for help fighting off pirates. A third simply sent one word: respect. In the ruins of the Tharkai Empire, rebellion spread. The people had seen their leaders lose to a species they were told was backward. Now, they wanted change. Some Tharkai soldiers surrendered to human outposts asking for peace. Even protection? Others refused. They became warlords, pirates, enemies of everyone. But Earth had eyes now, and Earth had ships. Commander Reyes returned to Earth, the first time in years. He stood before the Global Council, the world's leaders, offered him full military command, unlimited control, but he declined. "I serve," he said, "not rule." He passed command to a new joint team from Earth, Mars, Luna, and Europa. Humanity was no longer a planet, it was a civilization of worlds. But Reyes wasn't done. He walked through the Titan shipyards. He looked at each new vessel being built. Then, he walked onto the bridge of one still under construction. Its name, eclipsed to this one, would not lead war. It would lead exploration to the deep unknown. Two systems no one had mapped. Two places, even alien. Empires feared to go. The Havoc was placed in orbit above Earth. Its engines were shut down. Its weapons offline, but it would remain a symbol. A reminder that even in the darkest time, humanity rose, not just in power, but in spirit. A new era began. The Terran Apex Alliance sent ambassadors across the stars. They offered trade, protection, science exchange. They warned would-be enemies. We do not conquer. We do not invade. If attacked, we end threats completely. The galaxy had heard the message once before. Now it was written in steel and starlight, in a quiet room. Far from the noise of government halls, Reyes looked out at the stars. He wasn't alone. Valkyries. Soft voice filled the room. "Would you like a final report, Commander?" He smiled. "No," he said. "Just tell me one thing. Are we ready for what's next?" Valkyrie paused, then replied, "We were ready before they knew we existed." They both looked to the stars, because the truth was now clear. Humanity had never been primitive. They had simply been patient, waiting, learning, evolving, and now they were apex. Final message to the stars. From a once-ignored world came a voice that could no longer be silenced. We were underestimated. We were insulted. We were attacked. And we survived. Now we lead. End.